Good afternoon, Jaime Davis. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us today. So, man, talk to me a little bit about the Charlotte market that you oversee.
I got here. I got in Charlotte in 2018, February of 2018. It had a very strong reputation before I got here. The, the previous manager was actually one of the first regionals in company history, Harry Dill. He had been with the company. I don't want to get it wrong, but he had maybe 10 years or so, 10 years at that time. He had decided that he wanted to step down and get back into the senior sales rep role, which is a very lucrative role with a lot of freedoms. And that just seemed like that was his life work balance at that time. So we got here in 2018, and it was a pretty quick climb to the top. It took us I don't know, about 5 months when we got into the top tier, and then since then we got into the elite tier, which is 100 plus installs per month, and we maintained that for I believe 16 or 15 out of 16 straight months. We broke the Safe Haven longstanding monthly record in 2020. It didn't last very long. The company's blowing up at that point.
Absolutely.
That's where we're at. Yeah.
I'll tell you, I had the opportunity to come down to Charlotte a few months ago, and walking in that front door, it has a presence with the amount of trophies and plaques and the entire setup of it. So, Jamie, I'm curious to hear a little bit about your experience. So, I believe you were onboarded about 8 or 9 years ago, and you applied for the position when you were recently married in Mississippi.
Right.
You drove to Nashville for the interview. You drove back to Mississippi and then back to Nashville for the opportunity. You were in Nashville for a period of time. I know at that point we had connected through the MAP program, and quickly after that, you had advanced into Chicago as a branch manager, which briefly after you then relocated to Kansas City corporate and helped as the head of admin, and later on transitioning to Charlotte as a regional manager. So I'm curious to hear a little bit from you as to what that experience was like. So many moves, so many ups and downs over the past 8 or 9 years you've been with Safe Haven.
Yeah, dude, as you describe it, I'm thinking about like the detective board with the yarn, going from here to here, across the United States of America. But yeah, true story. Yeah, so we had just recently, my wife and I just got married. We were down at downtown Disney, and I don't know, we just kind of thought, I was in the United States Navy. I traveled around a lot and lived in a lot of different places, and she had it. And so we agreed to at least get on Indeed for about 10 or 15 minutes and look for some opportunity around us. And there wasn't a lot of opportunity back home where we were at. And Nashville, Memphis, and Birmingham are the three places that we chose to do just due to proximity to Mississippi. Mm-hmm. And when we got back, Safe Haven had reached out to us. So
I think a lot of the outsiders look at your success story and some of the struggles early on. Candidly, a lot of the sacrifices that you've made to get to where you're at now in a regional position, overseeing a multitude of offices and running an elite tier office in your backyard as well. So I'm curious to hear a little bit about your experience with keeping your team engaged and highly motivated. Is you've done an incredible job helping a lot of folks earn their trophies and their plaques and hit new levels and bonuses. I'm curious what it is that you do on a regular basis to keep your team engaged at the high level that they are.
I think that what we've built here and what was my goal was to come in here and, backing up a little bit, I got a rare opportunity to see Safe Haven from the inside. Working at Kansas City, and when I came here, I wanted to take that environment back. It was a family environment. It really was, in all regards, right? So the great and the bad, all that. But so yeah, we brought that here, and it's real. I mean, it's not mandatory. We don't make anybody do it. We go to kids' birthday parties. I know all of my guys' wives and boyfriends and girlfriends and children, and we do all that stuff. We take vacations together. We have an incentive. If you hit an elite, tier, you get a certain amount of money. And 1 year we took the whole team to Cancun, all inclusive, and here we are, just hanging out on a beach in another country. And, we've done a couple of beach trips, just local stuff. That's probably the more impactful, honestly, like the boating together. We've done that several times. I think that's been the glue. Really, is that we sincerely care about each other, We do, we talk every single day, and it's not about work all the time. It's just, we care about these people, and that's how we treat them as such. So I think to answer your question, yeah, of course, we do fun incentives and spin wheels and all that kind of stuff, and challenge each other. And I want this office to beat that office and all that. But I think at the end of the day, I think the real buy-in here has been that there has been that family culture that and maintained for 6 years, which is not easy with evolving teams.
No, absolutely. And, it's funny, Jamie, you mentioned a lot of organizations say, oh, come join our staff. We're like a family. And, I have quite a bit of experience in this world, and I was told that oftentimes before arriving at Safe Haven. So by the time I arrived at Safe Haven, I thought, right, everybody's a family. And to actually come in and feel that, and to extend that olive branch outside of the doors of Safe Haven and start to establish personal relationships is what you have found to make your team so successful and so bought in, culturally speaking, and not letting others fail. Is that fair to say?
Nailed it. Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, we know you do an incredible job with your team, and you've got a lot of veteran sales reps that hit at a very high level. I'm curious if you have any stories or experiences that you'd be willing to share with a customer rather than a sales representative on how the system or maybe the equipment itself was able to positively impact their livelihood.
Yeah, I've got, there's several. One of the more interesting ones, I woke up at 8:30 to a phone call from our accounts creation departments, which, as you know, there's never a fun call to get at 8:30 in the morning. It's like, they're not calling us to tell us how good we're doing, right? So, so I answered the phone call, and I was shifted over to the customer pretty quickly. And so I'm still trying to, get ready to get to the office and everything. And this guy he's saying that his mother, she was in her 80s. Had to break it into, and was telling me the whole thing, right? And about the experience, what happened. She had just moved in the day before, and she was widowed. So all of the jewelry that her husband had given her throughout their relationship, dating back to their courting days when they were teenagers, was in this box that she kept under the bed, right? And you could hear him quivering, quivering, as he's talking about it. And I drove out there, talked to the gentleman and the mother, and it was a great experience. That was a great experience, getting to meet them.
Sure.
Just like most experiences are, we get to meet new homeowners and hear their stories. So we got them set up, and they were installed that very day. I already called the technician. I was like, hey, I believe they need a system. I'm gonna do everything I can for them. And I did, and we got them installed that day. And so one of the cool things, or interesting things, is that one of the features in our keypad is that we have a video audio for 4 minutes, right? And so I get a call from the same gentleman. He's at the house, and he's saying, we got broken into again. And I said, you got to be kidding me. I was like, did the alarm work? And he said, yes, it did. Like, it went off. It did what it was supposed to do. The cops are there. Like, he called me, and so the cops are there, and I hear the cop goes, I think that's him. Right. And so I hear a bunch of rustling, whatever, phone hangs up, and he calls him back. He said, it was the kid. He said it was a 12-year-old kid staying at his grandmother's house right around the corner. And we found the box in the shed.
Oh, wow.
And he didn't realize that there was a camera in the keypad. And he walked right up to it, messing with it. And then he was just riding when we were on the phone, he just rode his bike by the house, not knowing that we had a video of him. And I thought that was just a very moving. She called me and gave us her gratitude as far as getting all that back, and it was extremely emotional for her. And she's happy that it kind of all happened the way it did. So that
sure, absolutely,
that she is now protected. And that was a beautiful story.
It is a beautiful story. Amazing. I mean, I've heard so many stories over the years, and to, have somebody almost anticipate that y'all were the folks on the opposing side breaking in, to fast forward to being able to protect their home, and unfortunately having an incident, having some peace of mind in place, and having that point of communication with you is absolutely fantastic. So, I got to ask you. Yeah, go ahead.
It instills. I've always thought this way. what we try to teach our guys is when we're going to these doors is that we're there to help people. We're at the, we're here to make money. I get that, but if one of the secrets that I can't necessarily pass on to people that I hire is that I sincerely care, and I believe that customers feel that whenever, we're with them, and they can tell if you're sincere or not. And that's part of it, is these reasons, right? Like this is real, what we're doing. So I just want to add that. But
yeah, no, I appreciate you sharing that. And I know, the viewer hasn't heard much about your background, but I know you came from owning a portion of a bar, working till 2, 3, and 4 o'clock in the morning. And not that you didn't love your patrons, but you didn't have the same level of gratitude for what you're doing on a regular basis, and being able to help these folks protect their homes, their valuables, their peace of mind, and everything of that nature. And Jaime, when you speak, you can hear the passion coming through the screen. So, man, I appreciate you sharing that story about some of the things that you've ran into over the years. Well, listen, with that being said, obviously you have quite a wide range of story and quite a successful background here with Safe Haven. I appreciate you jumping on the call and spending a little bit of time talking through it with us today.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks for having me.
All right, pal. I appreciate it, bud. We'll talk to you soon.